Today on this video we're going to talk about recovering Solaris zones, and in this particular zone we're actually going to recover Oracle because with InMage we do take consistency points of the entire zone as well as the application that rides within that zone. So what we have here today is we've got on the top half we've got a source machine that's actually running a zone, and we've got a target machine that we're replicating to. So if we go ahead and access the zone information on the source machine, we can just see what's going on here. You can see here we have one zone on top of our global zone. It's called Test Demo Zone, and that's the zone that we're actually going to connect into and validate that Oracle is running. Now once we're in here, we're simply going to access Oracle. We switch to the Oracle user and then we'll simply log in. And then we've got a quick table that we can go ahead and select from. And you can see we've got some information in that table. A very simple table. What we want to do though is actually destroy some data and create a disaster. So let me go ahead and do that right now just by deleting that final record, record number 20 that correlates to Eric there. And you can see that record number 20 has now gone and it's been destroyed. So now we're actually going to do the recovery aspect of that. To do that, we'll go ahead and access the InMage dashboard. Here you can see that we've got our Oracle zone under protection plan, and we'll go into the plan details. Once we're in the plan details, we actually see which volumes are under protection here. And we can actually see the RPO, the recovery point objective for each of those volumes is being tracked in a real time for us. As well as some readiness checks, we do have some scenarios already set up so that we can just run those recovery scenarios. So I do want to do an unplanned failover because we are recovering from a disaster. So I'll simply select and run the unplanned failover option. Once that's selected, it then allows me to choose a point in time in which I want to recover. So I'll simply select that, and you'll notice that I have several possible scenarios of when I can recover, and I've got a few pages full of them. I'll just simply grab one of these. We'll remember that this time 6:07:51 because I'm going to select that time for both of these volumes that are being protected. So 6:07:51 for the second one as well. Once I've got those times selected for both of those devices, I can simply choose Next and allow it to go through its recovery process. Here it's going to describe everything that it's going to do as far as readiness checks as well as the progress of what's going on in that environment. So we'll give this just a few minutes to go through the process of recovering that data. While we wait for that, I'm going to pull up these PuTTY sessions, and I just simply want to show you that there's no zone information on the target machine. And what we'll see is once the failover is done, we are actually going to create that zone on top of the global zone on the target machine so that we can bring everything online. We'll go ahead and connect into that zone, and we'll validate the SQL data at that point in time as well. You can see that we have successfully done that failover. So now let's connect into that target machine, and we'll go ahead and you'll run the zone list. again, and we'll see that there's no zone created. The first thing that we have to do is we have to mount the volumes that are correlated with that. So I'm simply going to execute the mount command for the test demo zone volume as well as the demo FSDB. If you see I list those out, now we can see that those devices have been attached. Those are the devices that we actually rolled back from the environment. The next thing we do is we just simply configure that zone information. And now if we go ahead and list out the zone, you'll see that it is in a configured state. And you'll see that our test demo zone is now configured. The next thing that we need to do is just attach that zone. We're going to use basic Solaris commands to do that process. And I'm going to attach it with the upgrade option because the source machines of Solaris don't have to be identical. It'll go ahead and go through that upgrade process. You can see now we went ahead and added the appropriate packages that were needed to get that zone up to date, and then we're going to go ahead and execute the standard Solaris command to boot up that zone. And so we'll give that a moment for the zone to boot, and then we will go ahead and list out the zone, make sure it's running, and then we'll connect into the zone itself and ultimately Oracle and access that data that has been destroyed so that we can do a recovery. And you can see that our test demo zone is now running. Now we'll simply quickly connect into that and we'll go ahead and bring it up. We run the alter database open command to ensure that any open processes that were running at the time of the consistency point are closed up and finished up. And then we'll go ahead and have access to our table sets so that we can and you can see at this point we now have our record number 20 with our information on it, and we could recover to it. If we failed over, it would simply be a matter of directing traffic to this server and you're up and running at this point in time. Very quick, very easy failover using InMage consistency points at Oracle level while failing over an entire zone within Solaris zones. Thanks.